Well, welcome everybody. It is 3 o'clock. We have roughly 50 who have joined us. We anticipate having quite a few more that will be joining us, I think, in the next few minutes. But to keep everybody on time, everybody's time is important. I wanted to welcome everybody to the 84th annual meeting of the members of SouthPoint Financial Credit Union. For introductions, my name is Troy Diedrich, and I, along with Anna Vangsness from our marketing and communications team, will be your moderators this afternoon. Our meeting today will be led by two presenters, Gordon OSMONSON and Jay Gastanzik. Gordy is the chair of the SouthPoint Board of Directors. Jay is our Chief Executive Officer. Also joining the meeting today are members of the SouthPoint Board of Directors, as well as the Supervisory Committee, and we'll be having our presenters introducing them shortly after we join the meeting. For a listing of your board and supervisory committee members, you'll find their photos and names on page 4 of the 2019 annual report that was found both on our website on the page that you used to register, but it's also included as an attachment on your screen, on the GoToWebinar screen under the handouts section. This meeting, including all of the slides, will be recorded and saved to our website in the days to come. There will only be one time during the meeting when a vote will be needed, and that is for the approval of the 2019 annual meeting minutes. And so at that time of that vote, anyone who's joining via our toll-free phone number will automatically be unmuted. And if you're joining via the computer link, you will need to click on the red icon, which is on your, and I'm displaying it on the screen, on your GoToWebinar panel. Now your panel will look slightly different in this area than mine, but there is this red mute button. And at the time that we unmute everybody's line, you will have to unmute yourself. And when you click on that red button, that button will turn to green. So at that time, we will mention that to you to go ahead and unmute, and we will unmute the lines, and then we will be able to have a vote on the approval of those minutes. So all attendees' lines during the annual meeting are going to be muted to avoid any background noise. But if you do have any questions or comments about the meeting and the format, we would love to hear from you. On the slide, we do have an email address, marketing@southpointfinancial.com. That will be an address that you can use. Certainly feel free to send us an email and share your thoughts about the format for the annual meeting. This is a different type of annual meeting for us than the past, our first virtual annual meeting, and we always appreciate the feedback from those who are participating. So without further ado, we're going to get our meeting started. I would like to first introduce our first presenter, Gordon OSMONSON. Gordy is the current chair of our board of directors and has been a volunteer on our board for more than 40 years. So Gordy, I will turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Troy. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 84th annual meeting via this webinar. COVID-19 has caused us to make many changes to the way we do business. We have been using webinars for our monthly meetings for the last few months, and they seem to be going very well. With the safety of our employees and members a major concern, we decided to use the webinar format for this meeting, and we want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. One item, after the business meeting, we will randomly draw from the attendees list for door prizes. We will then contact the winners directly and mail their prizes. Number one item, we're going to follow the agenda as presented, is the call the meeting to order, which I have called to order. So in honor of those serving our country in the military and our veterans, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are we loud enough, Troy?
Yes, sounds very good. Thank you, Gordy.
Okay. Second item is the proof of notice. Pursuant to our bylaws, proof of notice was published as a message on all members' June 30th, 2020 statements, plus notices have been posted in each branch office. Number 3 is declare a quorum. 15 is the minimum quorum, and as Troy presented, we have over 50 signed, so we would declare that we have a quorum for the meeting today. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our 2019 annual meeting. These minutes were included in the attachment to the webinar for your information. So can we unmute for the calling for the motion?
Yes. So, Mr. Chair, this is Troy Diedrich. I will put forth that motion for the approval of the 2019 minutes.
Okay, motion by Troy. Do we have a second to that motion?
I second.
I second the motion.
Your name, please?
Susan Bebo.
Okay, a motion been made and second to approve the minutes as presented at the 2019 meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Being none, minutes are approved as presented. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the report of the directors. I will present that report. The current board members are Matt Lux, who serves as our vice chairperson, Jeff Everson, secretary, Mark Brueggemann, Bob Weiss, Scott Supernut, Mike Krieger, and myself, Gordy Osmondson, serving as your chairperson. These 7 members represent you, the member owners of SouthPoint Financial Credit Union. We meet monthly or as necessary to conduct the board business of SouthPoint that you have entrusted in them. Prior to the meetings, all board members and supervisory committee receive reports to be presented via iPads. This gives us a time to review and be better prepared to make decisions and conduct the business. It includes CEO reports, marketing, financial reports, and the board is also updated on SouthPoint's goals for 2020, budgeting, industry trends, and regulations affecting the credit union movement. We have one bylaw amendment to report, and to comply with our bylaws, I will read that report. Bylaw amendment. Anytime there is an amendment to the credit union bylaws by the board of directors, the amendment is reported to the membership at the next annual meeting. There is one amendment to report since the last annual meeting. In March of 2020, the board of directors amended the credit union bylaws to remove the requirements that the SouthPoint annual meeting be held prior to May 31st of each year. After approval by the board, an application was submitted to the Minnesota Department of Commerce and was approved. That allowed us to have the meeting at a date later than an April meeting date. As I mentioned in our 2019 report, 2019 was a very busy time for SouthPoint. Our 7th branch in Waconia was ready to open, and our CEO, Dick Nesvold, retired after 30 years at SouthPoint. We want to thank him for his leadership and contributions to SouthPoint and the credit union movement. We wish him well in his retirement. We also hired a new CEO, and that is Jay Gostanzik, is hired as our new CEO. And then I have one more announcement to make. After serving on the board of directors for over 40 years, I will be retiring from the board of directors. I announced my retirement to the board and management at our June board meeting. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve the SouthPoint board, supervisory committee, management team, employees, and you, the membership. The credit union motto, people helping people, exemplifies SouthPoint Financial Credit Union's culture. I am confident our new CEO and board will continue to be advocates for the membership while providing the safety and security of the assets you have entrusted to SouthPoint. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Sincerely, Gordy Osmondson. Okay, the next item on the agenda, the report of the Supervisory Committee. The members of the Supervisory Committee, Tammy Helgett, who serves as our chairperson, Jerry Forrester, and Adam Seifert. The Supervisory Committee report is included in the annual report that is attached to this webinar. On behalf of the board, we want to thank the Supervisory Committee for the work they do as an independent voice for the membership. That item is on your webpage for review. Item number 7, the CEO report will be given by Jay Kostanzik. Jay is a native of Springfield, Minnesota. He has been with SouthPoint over 6 years. Prior to joining SouthPoint, Jay has been in the credit union industry for several years, holding various management positions. Jay has a committed vision for SouthPoint, its membership, the credit union movement. So please welcome Jay to our meeting. Jay?
All right, thank you, Gordy. Good afternoon and welcome, members, to SouthPoint's 84th annual meeting and our first virtual annual meeting in our history. My name is Jay Kostanzik, SouthPoint's President and Chief Executive Officer. I'm pleased that you've taken the time to join us. First, on behalf of the membership, leadership, and all of SouthPoint staff, I'd like to recognize and thank Gordy for helping chart SouthPoint's course and serving SouthPoint's members in our communities for the past 44 years, of which 24 of those years he's spent as our board chairperson. Gordy was first appointed as a director back in 1976. Since then, he's also graciously and generously given his time, leadership, and his volunteerism throughout the community, including the Sleepy Eye Lions Club, Junior Achievement, St. Mary's Church, the Sleepy Eye Medical Center Foundation, and also the Sleepy Eye Medical Center Board. In his words, as he just expressed to you, people helping people is what the credit union movement is all about. As witnessed by our growth, our success, the strength of your credit union, Gordy's leadership and his generous heart has touched many lives and even several generations of people within our community. Gordy, these words are just a small token of our appreciation. With your permission, and when in-person events can be held again and hosted in the future, we'll be looking to more formally recognize you for your service. Gordy, we're really going to miss you and appreciate you and all the efforts that you've done to make a difference and for your impact on the people and the communities we serve. Thank you, Gordy.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Thank you, members.
I'd also like to recognize the other esteemed volunteers on the board of directors and supervisory committee that were previously named by Gordy. These volunteers serve the interest of the membership and invest countless hours ensuring your credit union continues to add value and to best serve the needs of the membership. Thank you to all the volunteers for your continued leadership, your passion in our purpose, and exceptional performance in 2019. In addition to their fiduciary responsibilities, as Gordy mentioned, this past year, the board of directors faced one of their largest and most challenging tasks, which was selecting a replacement for a longtime CEO, Dick Nesvold. Dick retiring at the end of 2019, I want to give credit to my predecessor. Based on Dick's leadership and vision, we're well positioned for the future. Of course, I'm humbled and honored to have been selected to succeed Dick and serve in this capacity, and I thank the board of directors for the confidence that they've placed in me. I'm extremely excited about the future and leading this exceptionally talented team, whom I've witnessed, all of them are focused on making a positive impact on our members' financial lives. I'd also like to now recognize our senior leadership team, Patty Gohl, Chief Operations Officer, Troy Dietrich, Chief Experience Officer, and Al Peterson, Chief Financial Officer. Since this is my first honor to report and address the membership at SouthPoint's annual meeting, I thought it'd be appropriate to give you a short biography to help you get to know me. As Gordy mentioned, I was raised in Springfield, Minnesota, where much of my family still resides. I graduated from Hamline University in St. Paul, where I studied management and the social sciences. After college, I spent several years working for a finance company and eventually found the credit union industry and transitioned. I worked there for 15 years for 2 other credit unions up in the Twin Cities. And then after starting a family, having a desire to get closer to home and raise that family and to help those members and of the communities in which I grew up in, I came to SouthPoint nearly 7 years ago. Finally, I live in New Ulm with my wife of 10 years and our 2 beautiful children, and I should say energetic children. Shortly after being named successor, I was hard at work preparing SouthPoint for the years to come, and the world changed with COVID-19. Certainly much has changed over the past 84 years since SouthPoint was founded, and I've had the privilege of serving SouthPoint members now for 7 of those years, and that pace of change just continues to accelerate. Before we move on to the financial performance for 2019, I'd like to give you a brief update regarding COVID-19. I want to focus my remarks on SouthPoint's response to the pandemic. In an effort to protect health, safety, security, and the financial well-being of our members and employees, we needed to make some pretty tough decisions on our operations and take precautions on serving members. While service to members is the reason why we exist, we believe in putting people first. So out of an abundance of caution, on March 13th, which seems like forever ago, we made the decision to close our branch lobbies, and we began serving you by drive-through as our single means of in-person service. We also encouraged you to get familiar with and use all of our digital and self-service channels for cash deposits, remote transactions. For those members that weren't accustomed to digital and remote services, I want to thank you for your understanding and for adapting to the convenience of those self-service channels. On June 1st, we finally began taking in-person appointments with safety precautions. And then on June 15th, we officially opened our lobbies to serve you in person. Despite noticeable safety precautions in each of our locations, I'm proud to report this has gone very smoothly. We definitely want to see you in person, but encourage you to continue to use our other convenient self-service channels whenever possible. Today, technology has allowed nearly half of our employees to still be working out of their homes. Our frontline financial service officers, they're still opening most of our new accounts and loans electronically for any member with a computer, a tablet, or a smartphone. I can't thank our staff enough for how hard they've been working with all the challenges that they've had to endure in our current environment. It's awesome to see how they've been able to overcome some of those challenges. Thank you. We'll continue to closely monitor the situation, take actions and precautions in order to protect our staff and our member owners' health while allowing business to be conducted safely at our facilities. We'll continue to provide you with any member affecting notifications regarding COVID-19. And marketing will love me for this, but if you haven't already done so, you can stay updated with our communications by texting register to 44394. Again, that's register at 44394, or you can simply visit our Facebook page. Now I'd like to turn to the financial performance for 2019. I'd quickly like to highlight some of the balance sheet and income statement items. In 2019, we grew assets by 5% to nearly $370 million, and member equity by 4%, with over $48 million now in total member equity. That strong equity allows us to make strategic investments and return significant value back to our members, and also to weather times of economic uncertainty such as this pandemic. Let's take a closer look at how earnings contribute to that. Despite growing gross loans by 12%, net income was respectable, but it slid to just over $1.6 million. Let's dig a little deeper and take a closer look on the next slide. So our net interest margin is defined as the interest income we earn minus our dividend expenses divided by our assets. So due to the growth in our assets and paying higher dividends on deposits, the net interest margin slid slightly from 2.89 to 2.86. As you can see, we're much lower than our peer credit unions, and our peer credit unions for these next slides are credit unions that are with asset sizes between $100 and $500 million. But this means, by this lower net interest margin than our peers, this means we're giving back more to you on deposits and charging less on loans. Next slide. Non-interest income is generated from things like wealth management services, mortgage origination services, fee income, and debit card interchange. This has been a growing source of revenue for most financial institutions, as interest from loans typically does not cover operating expenses. As reflected on the chart, we're improving this measure and getting closer to our peers, which allows us to return that income back to the membership. Operating expenses, with our investments in technology and new delivery channels, some expenses are growing, but still well below our peers, which means we're able to deliver value-added products and services along with the member experience of tomorrow at a lower cost than other credit unions. While our earnings don't typically match that of our peer credit unions, you can see by the chart, we continue to provide strong earnings performance, balanced by ensuring that we're returning value back to members. All right, membership. Today, SouthPoint has over 24,000 members. As of the end of 2019, it was just shy of 24,000, and we're growing rapidly. As you can see by the chart, we've got a great trend of growth and expanding services to our entire field of membership. In 2019, we grew members by 10%. That equates to just over 2,300 members in 1 year. Let's take a look at where that growth is coming from. We still have quite respectable growth in our legacy branches, but many times we're asked the question, why are we investing in new branches, in new communities? I want to highlight nearly half of our membership growth is coming from our newest markets, St. Peter, North Mankato, Hutchinson, and now Waconia. Investments in these new markets have enabled us to improve operations and deliver more value back to all of our members of the cooperative. I also want to note, we continue to see impressive growth from serving members at the dealership with indirect lending. Last year, 33% of our new membership came from serving people right at the auto dealership. All right, speaking of loans, the new members have resulted in some exponential loan growth. Continued demand for loan services remains strong. Loans and loan growth is, after all, the lifeblood of credit unions. Last year, we grew loans by 4% to just over $289 million. On the deposit side, we've also had strong growth in 2019. We've grown 5% to just over $293 million in deposits. All that loan growth and deposit growth wouldn't be achievable without strong suite of electronic and convenient services. As you can see by the chart, this continues to grow outstanding as well. Before I conclude, I just want to give you some accomplishments and highlights of 2019. 2019, as Gordy mentioned, was extremely busy, but yet extremely successful. It was capped by the opening of our 7th branch location on January 13th in Waconia. In addition to a new physical location, we also introduced a virtual one with Video Connect, which allows us to offer traditional banking services remotely by video. And that has been very helpful during this pandemic period, allowing us to serve members remotely. What drives us to grow beyond where we are is to do more for the entire membership. Scale is becoming a critical factor in financial services in order for us to remain competitive and in order to provide the best service and technologies of today and tomorrow. We've also had some accolades for our work. In 2019, we received lots of recognition and awards. I'll just name a few. Our marketing team was recognized by the Minnesota Credit Union Network for four awards for outstanding efforts in the areas of branding, community impact and outreach, digital advertising, and video campaigns. We also received silver recognition by the American Heart Association for taking significant steps to building a culture of health in the workplace. The wellness program has engaged over 95% of our staff participating and has helped to create a healthier and more productive workforce. Finally, perhaps one of the most prestigious awards that we received was SouthPoint was recognized in the top 200 healthiest credit unions, ranking 102 out of 5,400 credit unions across the country. We also give back to our communities. So I'd like to give a few highlights in 2019 on how the credit union has given back to its communities. The SouthPoint Foundation established the Gordon OSMONSON Scholarship Program and also awarded the first 5 $1,000 scholarships. These scholarships went to help enable graduating seniors to continue their success in their academic and professional goals. See You Forward. As part of our engaging of our employees in giving back, in one day we volunteered over 400 hours in tying blankets for local adults and children, and sorting and packaging food for backpack program initiatives in several counties throughout our field of membership. Most recently, you've seen the Community First program. That Community First program was began early this year, but I wanted to highlight one of the items that we've done is also providing $7,000 to local area food shelves, $1,000 to each of the food shelves in our communities in which we have a branch. And lastly, as part of our CU for Kids long-term Chain of Hearts campaign, staff and members alike engaged to raise over $12,000 for local nonprofit hospitals of the Children's Miracle Network. So looking to 2020 and beyond, we as well as everybody else, we're focused on the impacts of the pandemic. It will result in some significant financial challenges in the coming years. Fortunately, we have a strong capital position to help us weather this financial crisis. We're also looking toward the future in the midst of significant upgrades and improvements to our systems. The core processing system is the main system that we use, and we are looking at enhancing and improving that. It plays a key role in the running of our credit union. Our current system is outdated, and we've been using it since 1998. So it's time to upgrade our technology. Now, we want to minimize the interruptions that you might feel, and we appreciate your patience as we go through that process with those important investments in allowing the credit union to gain efficiencies and improvements for your member experience. 40 by 25 is an initiative that you'll hear more about in the coming years. This is a long-term initiative of growing 40,000 members by the year 2025. Now, this is an aggressive goal that has been put out there for our team and for our members. As a progressive financial institution, leadership is promoting the concept of get busy growing or get busy dying. My predecessor used to coin that phrase, and I hope he doesn't mind. We're going to continue it. Continued growth is an important step towards sustainability, gaining efficiency in operations and returning value back to the membership. That growth won't change who we are and what our mission is, but it's going to enable us to better serve each individual member and the broader membership. All right, so in closing, I am extremely excited about the future of SouthPoint. I can confidently say that we have a strong organization, financially and otherwise. This is a result of your continued support, partnership, and participation in your credit union. Our financial strength is a result as well of our knowledgeable staff and skilled volunteers who understand the vision of doing the right things for the right reasons to add value. I'm proud of their dedication to our broader mission of helping people achieve their financial dreams and their strong commitment to make a difference in our members' lives and communities. Personally, it's my great privilege to serve you. I love this cooperative model that we have, and I'm excited about the meaningful work we do every single day. I'm extremely fortunate to lead an organization dedicated to helping others and work for an industry that puts others above themselves. Thank you. I'll turn it back over to you now, Gordy.
Thank you, Jay. Not only for your reports, not only the financial and the other reports that you presented, but also the personal introduction of yourself. We thank you very much.
Thanks, Gordy.
The next item on our agenda is the unfinished business. Number 8, the unfinished business. We have no unfinished business from our 2018 meeting. Number 9, the next item on the agenda is new business. We have one item in the new business section, and that is the election of directors. We had a nominating committee consisting of Bob Mathewitz, Don Domeyer, and Tammy Helgett. The following is their declaration of the Board of Director nominees. The nominating committee has nominated the following candidates for 3-year terms on the Board of Directors: Mark Brueggelmann, Scott Supernut, and Jeff Eberson. The nominating committee also nominated Mike Krieger to fill the remaining 2 years of the 3-year term of Mike Helgett, who resigned in 2019. Pursuant to the bylaws, these candidates, along with their biographies, were published to the membership via the December 31st, 2019 member account statements. The statement insert also included information on how members can be nominated by petition. The deadline for nomination by petition was February 7th, 2020 at 5 p.m. As no members petitioned to be added to the ballot and the number of nominees equals the number of petitions to be filled, the bylaws authorize the declaration of each nominee elected by general consent. Those following were nominated and to the board. The next item is the adjournment. I'd like to take just a moment here to thank some folks for their special help that they did. Thank you to Troy and Anna Bagnes for being the moderators. To our CEO, Jay, for his message. Kim Peterson of the staff also for her help, and Ellie McNamara. So we really thank them for their extra effort that they put forward in preparing for and getting us to this webinar. With that, we stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Gordy, for moderating or hosting our meeting this afternoon. Want to thank all folks who are participating in this annual meeting. Again, if I could just repeat something from the very beginning of the meeting where we talked about our email address, marketing at southpointfinancial.com. Please do feel free to share thoughts, comments, questions with regards to the format. We do really value and appreciate the feedback. Gordy did also mention at the very beginning that we would be having a drawing for some door prizes. That drawing will be based upon the attendees. We had 64 attendees for the annual meeting, so thank you all for participating. We will be having that random drawing, and we will be contacting those winners of those door prizes, and we will be mailing out those items to you so that you don't have to stop in and pick anything up. So again, thank you on behalf of our board, on behalf of the supervisory committee, Jay, Gordy, and all of the staff at SouthPoint. We want to thank you for all participating, and we wish you well, and we wish you safe travels as you go forward. And please do visit our website. In the coming days, we will be putting a recording of this session out there for folks to follow up and to view. Thank you again.